The Bold and the Beautiful, October 28th, 2025. The Bold and the Beautiful, Quinn Fuller's return ignites a war for Carter's heart 3 years after vanishing from Los Angeles and leaving behind a trail of chaos, heartbreak, and smoldering passion. Quinn Fuller is finally returning to the Bold and the Beautiful, and she's not coming back quietly. Once the most unpredictable force on the canvas, Quinn left town following a painful breakup with Carter Walton, a man she had fought hard to love and nearly destroyed herself to keep. Her exit was abrupt, her silence deafening. But now, just as Carter seems to have found peace with someone new, the storm that is Quinn is rolling back in and she's ready to reclaim what she walked away from. Rena Sofer, the powerhouse behind the complex, manipulative, and magnetic Quinn, held that role for nearly a decade. Her portrayal gave the show one of its most dynamic anti-heroines. After wrapping her stint as Lois Chirulo on General Hospital, the timing couldn't be more perfect for her return to B, and the writers clearly know it. Quinn's legacy is far from tame. From her earliest days as Wyatt's fiercely overbearing mother and Bill Spencer's unpredictable ex, she tore through lives like a wrecking ball, kidnapping Liam while he suffered from amnesia, pushing Deacon off a cliff, meddling endlessly in Ridge and Brooke's relationship, and always justifying her actions with twisted logic and an unwavering belief in her own righteousness. Even when Quinn tried to be good, her bad habits followed. Her marriage to Eric Forrester offered brief moments of stability, but her passion for Carter, born out of a forbidden affair, was too strong to ignore. Fans couldn't get enough of Carter. The chemistry was explosive. Their secret love rocked the Forrester Foundation and ripped open every quiet alliance in the mansion. But love, no matter how fiery, wasn't enough. Quinn wanted Carter on her terms. Carter wanted more marriage, children, a future. The rift was deep, and in one impulsive move, Quinn disappeared. She didn't just walk away from Carter, she vanished from everyone. Not a goodbye, not a word, just gone. Now, with whispers of a new fashion house forming, there's a perfect opening for a jewelry designer with flair, skill, and the ability to command attention. Quinn has always thrived in the world of fashion, creating designs that reflect her edge and elegance. But her return to the professional world will be overshadowed by a much more personal mission, winning Carter back. And she's not alone in the game anymore. During Quinn's absence, Carter tried to heal. The betrayal cut deep, but he didn't spiral. He moved forward, slowly, steadily, with dignity. He dated. He opened his heart again. Most recently, he found himself gravitating toward Daphne, a new presence in Los Angeles, mysterious yet grounded, a woman who saw Carter for who he was, not who he used to be. And now she's got him. Not just casually dating. Engaged, committed, serious. Daphne is no placeholder. She's not a rebound. She's intelligent, confident, and just as determined as any woman who's ever walked through Forrester Creations. She's also fiercely protective of her relationship. And she knows about Quinn, not just from whispered rumors, but from Carter himself. He didn't hide his past. He didn't sugarcoat the love, the loss, or the trauma Quinn left behind. Daphne walked into this relationship fully aware that Carter's heart had once belonged to a woman who would burn the world down to get what she wanted. And that's exactly what makes her dangerous. Because when Quinn returns, ready to rekindle the flame, she won't be met with a vulnerable, heartbroken Carter. She find a man who has learned from her departure and a woman who is ready to fight tooth and nail to keep him. But Quinn has never been the type to take no for an answer. Her return is not tentative. She doesn't come back asking for forgiveness. She comes back with intent. Regret, yes, but also determination. She knows she made a mistake walking away from Carter. She knows now that the life she feared, a life of commitment, of shared dreams, of family, is the only life she ever truly wanted. And she intends to have it, even if it means ripping Daphne out of the picture completely. The battle lines are drawn. Carter is at the center of a firestorm he never asked for. On one side, Daphne, the woman who represents calm, progress, and future stability. On the other, Quinn, the woman who represents chaos, passion, and an unresolved past. It's not a question of who loves him more. It's a question of whether Carter is ready to reopen old wounds or seal them forever. Quinn begins her campaign subtly. A visit to Forrester, an impromptu business meeting, a shared memory, a gift, a glance. She knows how to stir Carter's feelings without saying a word. She's not just back to plead. She's here to seduce. Not only his body, but his mind, his soul. She's playing the long game. Daphne isn't naive. She sees what's happening. At first, she tries to keep things civil, but that doesn't last. The moment she realizes Quinn isn't here to make peace, but to reclaim what she sees as hers, the gloves come off. Daphne can match Quinn in wit, strategy, and ruthlessness. What she lacks in history, she makes up for in insight. She can anticipate Quinn's next move, and she's not afraid to go low if she has to. The coming weeks will see a dramatic escalation. Quinn will manipulate situations to isolate Carter. She finds ways to undermine Daphne's place in his life. She might sabotage work, stir up scandal, or even dredge up secrets from Daphne's past anything to gain the upper hand. But Daphne won't just defend, she attack. She might expose Quinn's past crimes. She might call in Wyatt or Eric to confront her, or worse, Sheila. Because no matter how far Quinn thinks she's willing to go, she's not the only one capable of destruction. For Carter, the pressure will be unbearable. He'll be torn between two lives, one he tried to build and one he thought he left behind. He'll question his own heart, his own strength. Every decision will carry weight. Every misstep could cost him both women or worse, his own peace of mind. And still, outside all the personal drama, there's the professional intrigue. The new fashion house is gaining momentum. Quinn's return could boost it or blow it apart. If she plays her cards right, she could anchor herself back into the business empire. But if she lets her obsession with Carter cloud her vision, she could burn every bridge she's fought to rebuild. What makes this saga even more compelling is how familiar it all feels, and yet how unpredictable it has become. Quinn is no longer just a manipulator. She's a woman who has lost, learned, and returned. Daphne isn't just a romantic rival. She's a new archetype, a woman who refuses to be collateral damage in someone else's love story. And Carter, he's no longer just the prize. He's the battleground. The fans have waited 3 years for this moment. Quinn's return isn't just a plot twist, it's a tectonic shift. Old loyalties will be tested, new alliances will form, and when the dust settles, Los Angeles might never be the same. One thing is certain, the bold and the beautiful is about to live up to its name like never before. The bold and the beautiful. Hope's engagement implodes amid HFTF relaunch scandal. Liam Spencer got down on one knee. Hope Logan said yes. The Logan women, Brooke, Donna, Katie erupted in joy. For a brief moment, it felt like stability had returned to the lives of the people who hadn't known peace in years. The engagement ring on Hope's finger shimmered not just with promise, but with a desperate need to believe this time would be different. That forever would actually mean forever. That Liam had finally made up his mind. But this is the bold and the beautiful. Forever doesn't last, and neither do secrets. The buzz surrounding the reunion of Liam and Hope, collectively branded again as Lope, spread like wildfire through Forrester Creations and beyond. After years of emotional whiplash, it seemed the couple had finally found their footing. Their daughter, Beth, was ecstatic. Brooke was already laying out the blueprint for a wedding that would double as a media spectacle and a strategic marketing tool. And with HFTF Hope for the future poised for a massive relaunch, timing couldn't have been better. A wedding, a redemption arc, a new beginning. It was the kind of narrative that sells headlines and moves product. Brooke, ever the strategist, pushed the team hard. The new collection would debut alongside a public engagement announcement. The press would eat it up. The image of Hope glowing, victorious, forgiving would elevate the brand and erase any lingering shadows left by Thomas. For once, everything was aligned, until it wasn't. On the morning of the HFTF relaunch, just hours before the runway show, a leaked video began circulating in private media circles. It wasn't Steffi who released it. It wasn't Thomas. In fact, neither of them had seen it before. The source, a partner network executive, someone with insider access and an agenda of their own, someone looking to hijack the narrative, drive viewership, and spin chaos into ratings gold. The footage, grainy but damning, showed Liam in a private moment with Steffi. The timestamp made it even worse weeks before he proposed to Hope. There was no sex, no nudity, but the intimacy was clear. The lingering hug, the whispered words, the hesitation to walk away. It was the look in Liam's eyes that said everything. He wasn't over Steffi. The press pounced. Fashion outlets paused coverage of the HFTF collection to dissect the scandal. Talk shows abandoned their wedding predictions and began rerunning clips from Lope's rocky past. Social media exploded with speculation. Had Liam proposed to Hope while still emotionally entangled with Steffi? Was this just another repeat of history? At Forrester Creations, panic set in. Models were already dressed. Cameras were rolling. Brooke was fielding calls from publicists and news outlets demanding comment. Ridge wanted to shut the whole thing down to avoid further embarrassment. But Hope stood frozen, scrolling through frame by frame footage of her fiancé clutching another woman again. Not just another woman. Steffi. The pain was familiar. The humiliation, too. But this time, it wasn't just about personal betrayal. It was about brand survival. Her name wasn't just part of a label anymore, it was the label. And now she had to choose, protect the business or protect her heart. Liam, blindsided, claimed innocence. He didn't deny the footage, he couldn't, but he insisted it meant nothing. He said he had been confused, overwhelmed. He said seeing Steffi brought back old emotions, but he never intended to act on them. Hope asked the only question that mattered. Then why didn't you tell me before you put a ring on my finger? There was no answer. Steffi, dragged unwillingly into the storm, denied any involvement in leaking the footage. She was angry. Not at Hope, not even at Liam, but at being used again as a plot device in his endless cycle of indecision. Thomas, meanwhile, quietly watched the implosion unfold, knowing it wasn't his doing, but wondering if it might be his opportunity. Backstage at HFTF, the staff waited. PR held the press off for as long as they could. Brooke urged Hope to spin the situation. "This is your brand," she said. "Don't let him ruin it. Walk out there. Own your power. Control the story." But Hope wasn't sure what her story was anymore. She had believed in Liam again. She had said yes again. And once more, she was holding the shattered pieces of a promise she never asked to be broken. As the lights dimmed for the show, Hope made a decision. She walked the runway herself, wearing the collection's signature look. Alone. No Liam. No wedding mention. Just her, in front of hundreds of eyes, projecting strength she wasn't sure she had. Cameras flashed. Bloggers typed. Influencers raved. The collection was a success, but the silence around the engagement spoke louder than any press release. Backstage, Liam tried to reach her. She refused to speak. Brooke warned him to stay away for now. Ridge agreed? Donna consoled Beth, who didn't understand why her fairytale was falling apart. Carter advised the legal team to prepare statements. Eric, quietly watching from the back, muttered something about history repeating itself. By nightfall, the headlines had changed. Hope Logan takes back the runway, replaced Lope back on. The brand survived, maybe even thrived, but the engagement was on life support. The real question now, will Hope forgive Liam one more time? Or is this the moment she finally lets go not just of Liam, but of the cycle that's defined her adult life? Because this time, it's not just love that's on the line. It's identity, autonomy, power. And the cameras are still rolling. Secrets, shocks, and second chances. Tuesday's episode of The Bold and the Beautiful delivers a tangle of high-stakes confrontations, emotional reckonings, and a shocking engagement that promises to reshape the lives of the Forresters, Logans, and Spencers. As the dust settles from past betrayals, new alliances begin to form, some unlikely, some explosive. Lee and Sheila, the alliance no one saw coming. Lee Finnegan and Sheila Carter Sharp are not what anyone would call friends. In fact, they've spent years on opposite sides of some of the most dangerous moments in the show's history. Lee, the poised and principled doctor, has every reason to distrust Sheila, the woman who once left her for dead. But when it comes to Luna Nozawa, personal grudges are set aside. In a twist no viewer could have predicted, Lee finds herself turning to Sheila for a brutally honest conversation. Why? Because Sheila, in all her chaos, is still Luna's grandmother. And despite their differences, both women are deeply invested in Luna's future. That shared love becomes the thread connecting them in a raw and tense discussion. Sheila, more vulnerable than usual, opens up about her marriage to Deacon Sharp, how the life she's tried to rebuild is under strain. And Lee, weary and shaken, confesses her fears about Luna's recent behavior. The revelation that Luna may be pregnant and uncertain about the baby's paternity sends both women into a spiral. It's not just about Luna anymore. It's about legacy, control, survival. Lee wants to protect Luna from the storm that's coming, and Sheila. She wants to protect what little piece she's managed to claw back for herself. In that uneasy alliance, a storm begins to brew. Luna Nozawa, the waiting game. Luna might look like a victim, but make no mistake, she's playing her own game. Bruised but not broken, she's watching the adults around her spin into chaos, and she knows how to use it. While no one can prove it, Luna may be manipulating the situation more than she lets on. She's staying silent on who the father is, letting the mystery grow. She's watching Bill Spencer panic, watching Katie Logan put legal plans in motion, and letting Will Spencer stew in confusion. Luna knows that timing is everything, and in this family, emotional leverage is power. There are whispers that Luna might even provoke another confrontation. Not because she wants to get hurt again, but because a second incident might drive the Spencer family to the edge. If fear and guilt can push them far enough, she just might get exactly what she wants: full protection, full custody deals, and full attention. The Spencer custody power play. Bill Spencer is a man who rarely loses, and when he smells blood, he strikes. After learning about Luna's pregnancy, he wastes no time. Alongside Katie Logan, he's already met with attorneys. Their plan: to gain full custody of the baby the moment it's born. What makes this even more ruthless is the emotional manipulation at play. Katie assures Will that everything will be fine, but Will isn't convinced. He's stuck in limbo, torn between loyalty to his family and disgust over how the child was conceived. Luna's assault has left a stain on everything, and Will is grappling with the idea that this child might be both innocent and a symbol of violence. Still, the Spencer name means something, and if this baby is part of their bloodline, Bill will stop at nothing to claim it, no matter the cost to Luna's autonomy, to Will's mental health, or to the already fragile trust between families. Liam's victory and the return of Lope, then comes the bombshell. Liam Spencer proposes to Hope Logan again, and this time she says yes. For fans of Lope, this is monumental. For the characters, it's complicated. Liam, ever the emotional nomad, returns to the one woman who has consistently taken him back. Hope, bruised by Thomas and betrayed by love more than once, chooses stability, chooses Liam. But is this reunion built on genuine love? Or is it simply a desperate attempt to bring normalcy back to her daughter Beth's life? Beth's joy is undeniable. She's always wanted her parents together, and while she's grown fond of Carter Walton, it's clear she sees Liam as the heart of her family. The promise of a reunited home brings her peace. But beneath the surface, there's unease. Hope has grown. She's changed. She's seen how chaotic Liam's affections can be. Is she truly ready to start over, or is this just another chapter in their on-again, off-again saga? The Logan women react. News travels fast, especially in the Logan family. Katie, Donna, and Brooke are all stunned and cautiously excited when Hope and Liam arrive with their engagement news. Katie, who's deep in her own battle for custody with Bill, is too distracted to fully celebrate. Donna, ever the romantic, beams with hope. Brooke, she's skeptical. She knows better than anyone how Liam's indecision has cost Hope over the years. Brooke has watched this cycle play out too many times to fall for the fairy tale. But family is family, and for now, they put on smiles and hugs. They toast to LOPE's future while silently wondering, can this marriage survive the next scandal, the next temptation, the next slip? The clock is ticking as this episode closes. The stage is set for a season of fallout. Luna's pregnancy will force hidden truths to come out. Liam and Hope's engagement will strain already fragile alliances. Bill Spencer is about to go to war in a courtroom, and Sheila Carter is playing nice, but for how long? Behind every smile is a secret. Behind every yes is a lie. And as the characters brace for what comes next, one thing is clear: peace is temporary. The Bold and the Beautiful is just getting started. Tune in, because what happens next could destroy everything.